Let's talk about WWE being sons of a guns with this WWE draft.
I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one first, my brother. Before
Was it a bust? You absolutely cotton picking goddamn right. It was a bust. It was boring.
It was
The shows itself, like the ring work,
Mhm.
perfectly fine. I had fun on SmackDown, I had fun on Raw, but the draft itself,
Come on.
jack shit happened, bro. What was this draft? Like nobody went nowhere.
Nothing changed.
Like we had a few NXT call ups. Like we'll talk about them. We'll digest that,
Mhm.
and then it's like some people moved to Raw, some people moved to SmackDown. Like whoever had long standing feuds, like say Legado del Fantasma and LWO, separate shows. The Pride and the Final Testament, because they're now the Pride now, so it's not Bobby
Sudden.
and them. They're now the Pride. So the Pride and the Final Testament, separate shows. Damage Control and Bianca Belair are no longer beefing with each other because they're on separate shows. Well, until if they win the tag team titles on Saturday, then shit, we're still gonna get Bianca and Damage Control.
Yeah, that's inevitable, only because of those daggum tag team titles. It sucks because that rule.
I feel like they need to make that exclusive somewhere. Like at this point, just make it exclusive.
I almost want to say NXT, but see, they got the mid card women's title coming now, so it's like, and you can't. It's hard because then it makes it uneven with champions, right? So it's like, and you ain't gonna make two sets of them mofos. Don't do that. So it's like, please don't do that. You barely managing one, yet alone trying to make a whole another set. So yeah, man, I don't know, bro. They gotta figure that out quickly.
For those of you who don't know about the picks, I guess we can start for night one. SmackDown, like shout out and congratulations to Bianca Belair for being picked number one. I give them that props.
First black woman to ever be number one in a draft pick.
She's the third overall woman to ever be picked number one, and the first black woman to be picked number one. So this is the part where I just like, yeah, shit ain't about to change. So Bianca stays on SmackDown. Jey Uso stays on Raw. Carmelo Hayes is getting the call up officially to SmackDown after a few brief runs in NXT on Raw and SmackDown, or was it just SmackDown?
Just SmackDown, but I love the way they did his debut. I will say that.
Yeah, I give them credit with
that. That was perfectly dope, and that's how they need to take that note with any NXT talent going forward that they debut in their own way. Because, like, when Trick comes up, you better find a unique way to do it the way you did Carmelo, right? Because they already heard the chants. You heard those chants. What up, Marks with the mics? I see you, G. You heard the whoop that Trick chants while Melo was up there, which means some of those NXT faithfuls that watched, they knew what to do. So they're going to know what to do when Trick come up because they're going to know the chant whoop that Trick, and then the casuals are going to be like, what's this chant? I like this chant, and they're going to go with it, and then it gets louder, and it gets louder, and he gets hotter and hotter. So if they debut him properly when that time comes for him in the future, keep note of this, because this is how you debut talent that, because remember, like you said, everybody don't watch NXT. So to those casuals that had no idea who Carmelo Hayes was, they know now.
You know how you can find out who's who? Make sure you check out what's happening next with Ciendo over on Those Wrestling Girls.
Come on, girl. Yes, sir.
She will keep you up to date with anybody who you need to know is going down in NXT. So, but I like this, and I even like the fact that they had him go up against the undisputed WWE champion too. So
yes.
that is a plus there. I know I saw a lot of people were upset that he lost to Cody, but I'm like, you thought Cody was going to lose?
It didn't. The thing about it was, he wasn't supposed to win. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought it was gonna be like maybe one of those like screwy finishes, not necessarily like AJ Styles being in the feud with Cody's first feud. I thought maybe he just kind of like, like a no contest or DQ or something. Yeah, but it made sense. It told the story it needed to tell. It's just showing that Melo will be there and is gonna have to climb his way up, but he's also showing you like, hey, don't think that I'm here just to sink. I'm finna swim. And this is proof that I'm about to swim because I'm hanging with your number one guy in this ring.
Fact.
And if I can hang with him, I can hang with any of you mofos. So that's why I said that's a perfect debut for a guy of his character. So you can't do that with everybody from NXT. Like when we get to some of those other call-ups, you're gonna have to debut them a little differently. But with a Carmelo and even Trick, because I'll put Trick up there in that same light, you gotta debut them just like that so people understand that these are like next up people, like main eventers.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that was pretty cool with Melo. So hey man, Melo for US champion. Let's start that.
Ooh, okay.
Let's Melo for US champion.
It's interesting you say that because I got another route they're going here. Unless you're talking about like way down the line, because
way down the line, SummerSlam don't matter. Survivor Series.
I'm getting a weird angle, and I'll talk about that when we get to Raw. But I got a weird feeling something.
But you're talking about Logan.
Yes.
Something. The only downside about that is Logan's exclusive to SmackDown.
I know, but you know it's WWE. And
oh yeah,
you know how they do.
Don't give a fuck about that.
By that point,
they'll forget about the draft. But I give them 2 months before somebody pops up on the.
And look, it could be a trade. You know, they're gonna try to play it off. And remember, that's how he ended up in Raw to begin with, which was kind of funny that he stayed there because it was like, well, he got traded to that place to begin with, and now he's officially like there. So like. And yeah, continue, brother. I'm not going to, continue.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Next up we had Seth freaking Rollins get drafted to Raw. So I'm like, oh, okay, we're drafting injured people. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Round 2 we had Randy Orton stay on SmackDown. Braun Breaker is officially on Raw
after signing to SmackDown like not even a month ago.
Like Nick Aldis made a big deal about signing this man just to lose him.
That is freaking wild, bro. You talk about fight back. I don't know how you ain't fight back for that one. And a moment of silence, really quickly, for Mr. Cedric Alexander here, because sir,
bro,
I saw that. And the moment I saw he was the one, I was like, oh yeah, that's it for you, brother. It's a matter of time for you. Dare I say, if they doing you like that, it's a matter of time, brother. I don't wish it, but that says all I need to know right there. I'm like, God, dog.
And I'm like, I had this genuine reaction. I was like, bro, you mean like you had me watch this vignette that y'all had, which was good, by the way, and y'all haven't showed anything since. Like they did one vignette and then that was it.
That was it. Hadn't seen them since.
Oh, 2. Excuse me, 2. They spaced it out.
And
I'm still like,
what are we doing? Yeah, like what are we doing here? So that's one little sample of my gripe when I saw that. But continue, brother. Continue.
Yeah. Nia Jax has officially been moved over to SmackDown with the Bloodline.
Oh, I didn't think of that. You're right.
I did that instantly. I was like, hold on now.
I mean, it didn't click with me at first, but now that you mentioned,
she acknowledged them. She acknowledged the tribal chief at the Hall of Fame.
This is perfect because Naomi can't do it, so that's perfect. Yeah, because I kept saying like she's a part of it, but she's too babyface. And now that Jimmy got turned on,
she can rep the OG bloodline.
Yeah. Ooh.
And have the new bloodline.
Hey, that's gonna be one heck of a lineup, boy. Fatu.
We got Solo Sikoa who need to get some wins. We got motherfucker Tama. We got Jacob Fatu and Nia Jax. Versus some people still.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Do we want to do a reunited Usos?
I really don't, bro. I really don't. Like, Jay is doing his thing, bro, and I need to see what Jimmy do when he get back, bro. Like, whatever this undisclosed injury is.
But then again, it's like, nigga, It's like a million of them motherfuckers. So you can literally just throw one of them big Samoas. Like Jacob's brother is a death match king.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm like. It's like
You got
they got Lance and
Lance
Hawaii.
NYE. Yep, he out there. Yeah, it's a lot of them, bro.
It's
It's
a
a lot.
lot of them niggas.
So, not to mention Young Zilla, who we know ain't really necessarily ready just yet. He getting his reps in right now, but believe me, he could get that LeBron James treatment for all we know. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised because the brother's been having a lot of hype and he's cool peoples. Shout out to you.
What I'm about to say? What motherfucking Thomas brother up to?
Oh, yeah, I read up on something about him actually. So I was gonna bring him up. I'm glad you brought him up. It turns out he only has like a few months left. And by a few, I mean like maybe a couple months left on that contract. So if they play this out, say by like SummerSlam, he could very well be.
Bro, we about to have a battle of the island. and then the inevitable whenever he comes back, Roman Reigns, whether he'll be a babyface or a heel. That's
he'll be a babyface. You can feel it. He gonna definitely be a babyface, bro. He'll still be him though, but it's gonna be more in a babyface reaction. So it won't be like that big dog stuff is dead. We know that.
I hope so.
We won't.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah. No, I think it's kind of like Austin or Randy Orton. Like, you know how Randy Orton is, everybody knows the Randy that we love. But even when he's a babyface, or at times when he was a babyface, he was still Randy. He just was a little watered down, but he was still Randy. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something that made him uncool. Like, he was still loved. I feel like it'll be that same way with Roman. Like, he's still gonna have his rough edge. He's still gonna talk his trash, all that, and he's just gonna get pops for it. Because let's face it, he was basically a babyface even as a heel.
This is also true.
So it's coming back. He just gonna get the pops. They ain't gonna boo him.
They're not gonna boo him. So they're gonna acknowledge their tribal chief. Liv Morgan stays on Raw,
which again didn't surprise me, but at the same time was just like,
oh, okay. Rhea Ripley wasn't drafted though, so that's what I'm getting confused with. Are we drafting injured people or not? Because you drafted Seth freaking Rollins, who just had surgery, but you didn't draft Rhea. Like, you didn't even acknowledge her.
By the way, is easily a top 2 pick, 3, top 5.
Unless they're gonna make a big give her a free agent storyline to where she's gonna like, I'm going to sign to Raw so I can whoop Liv Morgan's ass.
But see, if that's the case, you made that case for a lot of people right now. You made that for Roman. You made that for
because he withdrew. He withdrew. They announced him for the draft, but they said, yeah, we're gonna pull him out.
Which that didn't surprise me. I was just sitting there like, well, of course, because he would have been number 1 if that was the case.
Oh yeah.
And the moment Bianca got announced as number 1, I was like, I love it. Love you, Bianca. Love that. But that told me right there, oh yeah, Roman is not in the draft.
Nope.
Not at all. Not even a little bit, brother.
Round 3, we had LA Knight staying on SmackDown, Ricochet staying on Raw, the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, motherfucker Tama, and Paul Heyman staying on SmackDown, Sheamus staying on Raw, AJ Styles drafted round 4 staying on SmackDown, Alpha Academy staying on Raw, Andrade moving to SmackDown, and then this one caught me off guard. Kiana James is officially on Raw. You got any thoughts on this one?
It caught me off guard, but in a good way, because I loved it. Because one, you and I both know how much we kept saying, Raw, fight back, you need women ASAP. Mm-hmm. That was the first step in the right direction. Now, it caught me off guard because I didn't think they were going to be ready to call her up, but it actually makes sense because she does seem like she's ready for that main roster angle. She's got the character, she's got the look, she's got a move set. Whether I've heard 1 or 2 people out there say they're not like particular fans of her in the ring, but trust you me, the girl can go. And I'm like, I love this move for her because I can easily see her with that boss-like role finding ways, because she's a businesswoman. So it's like finding ways to get right into that NXT title picture, right? Like paying somebody to scout the competition, paying somebody to then, set up a contract. And yes, she is. She is one fine sister. Shout out to the fact that she's also a sister. Still love that. But yeah, she's ready, man, and I'm excited for her. And I felt like that was a really perfect brand move for her. I say the same for when we get to the latter half of the draft with some of the women. I like Raw's moves. From the positives of this draft, I like that Raw finally fought back.
It took him long enough. Took you long enough, Baldy.
It really did. Now you lost your tag teams for whatever freaking reason, but you at least gained some women. That's another thing that's just like, wait a minute. That's why I'm like, these tag team titles might as well just be on SmackDown, because how did all the
shooters are on SmackDown?
Like what?
And they drafted Baron Corbin on a different brand. They could have easily revisited Wolf Dogs if they wanted to, but they got him on different shows. Baron Corbin's on SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I don't know how this is going to go this time around, because I know that a lot of when he was over, that usually worked because of the Wolf Dogs, but also Dijak on Raw. So it's funny that these veterans are like
coming back.
And I'm like, are they going to sink again, or are they actually going to be prominent this time around? I don't know.
But then again, it's NXT. Like, they come back and forth. So they're going to literally, like, we just saw Mia Yim pop up on NXT. So, and she got drafted to SmackDown with the OC.
Yeah, maybe this is the part where we get those. I hope so, because that was going to be part of my gripe. We saw, like, not one single trade of any sorts. And I'm like, if you want to make this feel like a real draft, trades, my ninja. Like, OG draft. This is the reason why the very first draft was always my favorite of all time. I wasn't even into sports as much back then as I am now. And that draft felt like a legit draft. They did trades. They actually separated tag teams and stables. You didn't know.
Like, they made it surprised you.
Yeah, like everybody. They made it known to you, and they kept telling you everybody's up for draft. This time, it's like, I like what you did with the champions. That's cool. Lock the champions on their respective brand. That was too awkward. We don't need to see that. Plus, we just got new titles. That was perfect. But then you kept people
everywhere.
And it's like, so what if they're in a prominent feud? You still could have split them. It's never stopped you before from having these two go at it. In the original draft, if people were in the middle of a heated feud, they still got drafted.
I'm about to say, remember Batista and Edge in 2008? They got drafted on separate shows, and they say, yeah, they're still going to fight.
Yeah,
at Night of Champions.
And they fought.
And if Batista wins, he'll take the world title to Raw. And if Edge wins, it stays on SmackDown. It's literally that simple.
Exactly. And I'm like, you could have easily, like, AJ don't need to be on SmackDown still, because once Cody beats him, then what?
He's just gonna be on SmackDown.
Exactly. So I'm like, and then I got gripe with SmackDown, because I'm like, so who exactly is supposed to be challenging Cody? Because I don't see not one person that look eligible right now based off who you selected. I don't see not one person that look like they're gonna challenge Cody for this title.
Baron Corbin.
Yeah. I don't see one challenger on this doggone brand, bro. Not one. What the freak, dog? You could have. I was like, yo, Big Bronson Reed, hello. He's right there. Grab him. Bring him to SmackDown. Get him in that prominent role. I'm not saying he beat Cody, but at least he'd be a challenge for Cody. Good God, man. Who am I supposed to believe that's on that? You're not going to do it with LA Knight. He's a babyface, because if that was the case, you would have had him beat AJ Styles again. So, all right, where else are we going here? Logan Paul's the United States champion. He's not going against Cody for the title. Unless he just decides, oh, yeah, I want to do it just so I can have two titles. And even then, that's still stupid. So what are we doing here? See? Seth, easily. You could have drafted him over to SmackDown.
That brother ain't coming no time soon. He's injured.
True. Yeah, true that. But still, you see what I'm saying? Like, who are we supposed to believe?
Let me keep scrolling down this draft.
Let's do it. Let's do
We got Baron Corbin. Oh, so they did draft Cedric and Ashanti the Adonis as the tag team to SmackDown. So we'll see how that goes.
it.
Raw has Shayna Baszler. Raw has Zoe Stark. So they're staying. Raw then gains Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and then Raw keeps Ivar. Just Ivar. Round one on night two was Imperium. That means Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. No Giovanni Vinci is on Raw because they kicked him out of Imperium. Jade Cargill is the first woman to be drafted for night two, round one. She's staying on SmackDown. Damage Control, Io Sky, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai goes to Raw. Kevin Owens stays on SmackDown. CM Punk stays on Raw. The Pride, Bobby Lashley, Street Profits, and B-Fab stays on SmackDown. Braun Strowman returned on Raw, and he's now a part of Raw. Tiffany Stratton stays on SmackDown. The LWO, Rey Mysterio, Zelina Vega, Joaquin Wild, Cruz del Toro, and Carlito, who turned on Dragon Lee, is on Raw. Legado del Fantasma is on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre stays on Raw. Shinsuke Nakamura is on SmackDown. They gonna, you think they're gonna run back him and Cody again? Even though Cody beat him in the last man standing match on Raw.
When I say I'm so over that, I do not want to see that feud again. Okay? I'm done. No. Absolutely freaking not. No. Not even a little bit. So it's man, dog.
The Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough stays on Raw. Naomi stays on SmackDown. And Ilya Dragunov is on Raw. The Czar.
You see? You see?
Yeah. So let's talk about Ilya on Raw a little bit. King of the Ring.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
You think they're going to do him and Gunther in the finals?
Oh, it's destiny, my friend. It's destiny. It's a matter of time.
The only way that would work is they would have to put them on two sides of the bracket because they were on the same show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hopefully, for the matchups, they do Raw versus SmackDown for each match.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that working.
Because if they do Raw on one side, then it's not happening in the finals. It's happening in the semifinals.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Huh.
That's the only way I see that happen.
Yeah. 2. Yes. 2. Make sure if you have not already seen Gunther and Dragunov people.
Well, 3, actually.
Yes, because they did. That's right.
They wrestled in the UK and they wrestled at TakeOver 36.
You're right. This is 3. So yeah, this would be 3. Technically part 1 if we want to just count main roster, because you know how they do with that sometimes. So we can say this is like 1 from the main roster, but overall this would be number 3. So yeah, I like that. And I'm only saying that for like in case they ever decide to do a rivals on this in the future, you know, separate it. But this is my gripe, because you see what I'm talking about? Raw fought back this time. Because
and SmackDown, they fought back and fucked SmackDown in every place possible that I will not say.
Yeah, because there's not a balance here when it turns to your main title picture. Because Priest has plenty of challengers on his end.
Probably more than he can handle.
Yeah, boy. Man, you not only got to deal with Gunther.
The only way I can see them making this make sense if they make the winner, if Gunther wins the King of the Ring. And they say you can choose whichever title you want to go after. They basically turn it into a glorified Money in the Bank.
I'm gonna say he did say that
they can have him go after Cody.
Yeah, I was gonna say they did say that, because they did say like he can call it. He did say something about calling the shot at any title he wants.
So hopefully they do that. They go that route. Whoever wins the King Ring gets a shot at like SummerSlam, and there's your SummerSlam match.
You know, it's funny you say that because it seems like that's basically in terms of Cody. That's the only way people are going to be able to face him right now is if they win this King of the Ring,
And
Royal
money.
Rumble, or Money in the Bank. Because right now, as it stands, for that, there's nobody.
I mean, they can easily do babyface versus babyface, but they would just have to make it make sense and entertaining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they have to. They have to.
So
Like
they
I
can.
said.
So he has a plethora of challengers, but they just have to either bite the bullet and turn them heel,
Mm-hmm.
or just have babyface versus babyface, LA Knight versus Cody, Kevin Owens versus Cody. Like on paper, if you look at the names, he has challengers. But if you're looking at like your, if you're trying to go based off of your heel babyface dynamic, he ain't got that many challenges outside of
No.
AJ and Shinsuke and Baron Corbin.
Well, we can't even count Baron Corbin because he's technically coming up as a babyface right now. Low key. So it's like, but yeah, man. Ugh, yeah, this is gonna be.
So after Dragunov, he had Chelsea Green and Piper Niven going to SmackDown. So we won't hear Samantha saying Chelsea Green again. So
What a vibe killer.
New Day staying on Raw, Pretty Deadly staying on SmackDown. Lyra Valkyria is officially on Raw. So, like you said, Becky has a plethora of challengers now.
She does. She really does. And you can run it back with her and Lyra easily, you know, especially because now Lyra can. You got a lot of women who can make a case right now. Lyra, the only thing against her is just, oh, I'm the rookie, but she can make the case like, hey, I beat you.
The rookie beat you.
Yeah, like I beat you for that title. Well, not that specific title, but I beat you for a title, right? So technically, I'm in line to challenge you for that title. So it's like she could easily call her shot if she wants to make an impact. So yeah, her, Kiana James, and then of course there was another addition, I believe.
Oh yeah, we'll
And
get
then,
to it.
yeah,
Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell is on SmackDown. The Final Testament is on Raw. DIY is on SmackDown.
of course, because you know.
Yeah, marriage and all that.
Yep.
Big Bronson Reed is on Raw. Blair Davenport is on SmackDown. So that's another call up from NXT.
I gotta agree with Marty on that one. Great call up, wrong show.
Oh yeah, she's not going to be able to cook too much on that. It's literally she literally got called up to the talk show because
Mm.
SmackDown is pretty much the talk show because they only have 2 hours and a lot of time for the 7. I think that's the reason why a lot of people were like they kind of wish the Bloodline moved to Raw because at least they have 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have made more sense. And then you could have had Jay just come to SmackDown, if anything. You
Mm-hmm.
could have been lighting up Friday nights. Um, and then, yeah, it just would have made more sense.
Yeah. They didn't think that through. Uh, let's see who else. And then the last draft that was announced on social media, Apollo Crews is still employed, but he's on SmackDown.
Oh no, we got one better. You think he's
Oh yeah,
still
we're gonna
employed?
get to him.
Oh,
Giovanni Vinci, he's officially on SmackDown, so he might be able to cook a little bit if they give him the gimmick that he had in NXT.
yeah, he had a pretty good solo run in NXT. I can see that for sure.
We
As him
did
being
not skip Damage Control, Ken. You just missed it. We basically breezed past them.
for obvious reasons, but yes.
Yeah, we talked about them briefly. Tegan Knox is on SmackDown.
If you care.
Natalia is Natalia is on Raw, even though she was just on NXT. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance is on Raw still.
Oh, I thought I heard them go to SmackDown. Oh,
No,
that's
they're
good.
still on Raw. Odyssey Jones. Now that's a nigga who I ain't even know still employed. I
You
ain't
and me
seen.
both.
I didn't.
How, Sway?
It's
Like,
to the point where they spelled his name wrong on the graphics.
yeah, because
They said,
I'm
"Hey,
really trying to understand this because I'm like, let me get this straight. So you let go Gender, Indashir, Xylee, Cameron Grimes, Trevor Lee, if you want to say it like that. But Odyssey Jones still there? And you ain't used him not one bit, not one time, nothing?
apparently they use him on live shows," is what I'm told, or dark matches.
I hope this is true about this him being with the Pride thing. if that actually is a thing still.
But the Pride is on SmackDown.
And he's on Raw. Goddamn. I don't know, people. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
The funny thing is, he was drafted initially to Raw, so he's still on Raw technically.
And jobbing to Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman goes to
nobody. He has to get on the show to job.
Oh, and that's exactly why you'll see it. You know how that goes. Oh, look, it's Odyssey Jones. Oh, there goes Odyssey Jones.
Oh, there's big black nigga number 1.
You've been Zion Quinn.
Speaking of, I think he got released too.
He did. That's why I say you've been Zion Quinn. And Braun beat him in like 12 seconds. And it was just like, yep, that's his career in a nutshell. Exactly, bro.
Dijak, we just talked about him. Dijak is officially back on Raw. So
another man that could be a potential challenger for Damian Priest. You see what I'm saying? Priest, you got a lot to worry about, brother. You should be sweating because you got way too much comp.
The Creed brothers and Ivy Now on Raw, and New Catch Republic on Raw. Yeah, and that is your official every selection on for the WWE draft.
Womp, mother freaking womp.
So nothing really happened
at all. Like, dog, no trades.
Because I ain't gonna cap. They could have easily just turned all these NXT call-ups into like just what they did with Braun Breaker and just signed everybody. No, the entire WWE draft could have just been an email.
Mm-hmm. It could have been because let's not forget about this delayed NXT reaction that to me came off very pre-recorded when it came to Raw. Might have been live for SmackDown, but Raw pre-recorded as hell.
Oh yeah, because they wearing the same fits.
Same fits, delayed reaction. Like my sentiments exactly, bro. It was like they literally told y'all what to do. Like a lot of y'all knew y'all were getting called up. But then again, I don't know because some of those reactions seem very organic in terms of like you can tell.
I feel like the only ones who knew they was getting called up was Dragunov and Mello. Because Lyra's reaction was kind of genuine too.
Yeah. Are you surprised they didn't call Roxanne Perez up?
Oh, she'll be up there eventually. They're gonna feed her to Julia.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean,
all I'm about to say, Rox, if Julia shows up in NXT with a freshly laid bob, just go ahead and give her the title.
Man, look, dog. Yeah, because man, it's a lot of. I'm just sitting here like, bro, y'all could have traded some NXT calls.
So somebody say the last thing with NXT, I mean not NXT, the draft. What do you think they could do different? Because I'm trying to put my finger on what they can do different, and it's like,
well, like I said, again, man. For one, make it interesting with some of these trades. Like, you got to make some of these people feel like a big deal. Like, trade up, trade down, trade around, trade future picks. You know what I'm saying? You got to make it, if you're trying to make this thing as real as possible, like, hey, we got some future picks because you're prospecting. Like, when you think about the NFL draft, some of these franchises are drafting for the now and some of them are drafting for the future. Meaning, like, when they draft during the regular season, they're like, okay, we're hearing about this person being the hottest upcoming college student, prospected to be like number one.
That's another thing. Do you feel like WWE needs to like partner with some indie companies and actually draft some good prospects from indie companies?
Yeah. I mean, if you want it to really make it interesting, yeah, like but only do it for ones that don't need NXT per se, right? Like if you're going to do that route, you have to do it because you got the NIL developers in NXT, so they're cropping their own talents like the Tiffany Strattons and of the world and stuff like that. But if I like that idea, it's just if you do that genuinely, it has to be people who are like the AJ Styles route, where they're so ready, they can go straight to the main and shine. You get what I'm saying? So like, do some of that to spice it up. And again, make these trades. Like, make me truly believe that Adam Pearce and Raw really want this person and they're willing to trade whoever to get that piece because they know that piece is going to game change this show.
Like if we want to be real, like if you want to make Nick Aldis not look like an idiot when it comes to Braun Breaker, have him attempt to trade like 3 people.
Exactly.
Get him back.
Exactly. Like, bro, this is Braun Breaker. Even if that, it's like, yo, this is Braun Breaker. Like, you just signed him. You should have made a rule where like somebody that freshly signed cannot be drafted for like at least a few months. If y'all decide to do another draft like halfway through the year or something or whatever, like he can't be drafted for at least a year because he's, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta spice it up like that, dog.
Yeah, because the whole having people come out reading papers, and I'm like, it was cool to see Teddy Long and Michelle McCool and Tori Wilson and whoever else and the Dudleys, but it's like y'all do that every year. I really don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's like it didn't mean much of anything. And my other gripe is the logo thing was cool, but you got NXT a part of this, and not one of these ninjas from NXT even didn't make a single pick. NXT didn't make a single pick. Why are they involved in this if nobody from NXT got any kind of draft picks whatsoever? I need answers to this. What's the point?
Is NXT the third brand or is it just high school?
Because the show feels very NCAA-ish right now.
That's probably what it is, honestly. I just need them to just solidify that. Like, this is your NCAA. This is your UFL. This is pretty much anything that is like, you're not the big league. You're not Raw. You're not SmackDown.
Yeah, bro, because they didn't get a single pick of anything.
It's like, again, then it probably won't matter because they're going to jump down anyway. Like, if they're not doing anything on the main, they're going to literally come down to NXT.
And that's the thing. That's why I'm just like, because as we saw, which was why when I saw Mia Yim tonight, I was ecstatic because she got a nice pop. But then I'm sitting there like, well, then doesn't that just defeat the purposes that they just
draft officially doesn't take shape until after Backlash. So Monday is officially where the rosters are locked.
And you see
I'm keep using air quotes.
And that is adding to the point of why you could have shook this up for real with some of these feuds. Because if it don't take place until after the fact,
you could have wrapped up some of these feuds literally at Backlash.
Wow, like, man, that's crazy. And then like I heard, I think it was on Busted Open or somewhere where somebody was like, with these NXT call-ups, do more like what I wanted to see. They were talking about do more post interviews like what they did with Kiana James, because if you notice, they didn't do that with any of the other talents.
They did it with Dragunov.
Now they did like digital exclusive interviews, like asking Trick Williams what he thought about Carmelo Hayes getting drafted, and I'm saying like, yo, I'm happy for him. Like I like stuff like that. Cool. But show that, because not everybody goes on the YouTube to watch these digital exclusives.
I do not.
Show that. Like, show these people press interviews that either just got drafted or whatever. When you think about the NFL draft, as soon as somebody gets called, they're showing literal highlight packages of said player, and commentaries putting them over like, yo, man, best way to compare this person, he's compared to this, that. He's a big explosive player. He's big time catch receiver, just about what you need, da-da-da-da-da. Same case in the NBA. WWE could have easily did that. Like, if say you drafted Obafemi. Oh, man, if you don't know about this guy, let me show you a video package on Obafemi right now. Show this man coming straight out the jump. Boom. I won this title on my first freaking moment and opportunity to get it. Boom. And this and that. And you can show how he's just dominating through the scene.
I mean, they did that with Kiana, but they didn't really do it consistently.
Exactly. And that's what I loved about it when I saw it with Kiana. That's why I loved it so much, because I'm like, this helps to the people. Because I was looking at comments online, and some people are like, who is this? And other people are like, you don't watch NXT? Or this is Kiana James. You about to know who she is, this and that. So it's like they did the right idea, but like you said, they just kind of dropped it. So maybe this was like a test draft or something. Hopefully they clean this up for next year. I don't know. But I know they're seeing this feedback, because everybody.
I'm not going to get excited until I feel like genuine change, because the whole reading of the card, go away.
Yeah.
Have the GMs convene from their boardrooms for their war rooms and be like, Raw selects this person and give a reason why, and then show their promo package, and then boom. Don't have the guests come out there, your JBLs, your Bubba Ray Dudley, who looks like Alex Jones for some reason, and then Devon Dudley come out there reading stuff, and I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, man. And then you have my boy Booker just doing this random
thing with Drew.
Yeah, and giving his thoughts on like certain NXT. It's all over the place, man. Like, good attempt to try to do some things, but it's just y'all got to stop being predictable with some of these.
Because everything was predictable.
Yeah, I need to outside of like the NXT talents, outside of ones that we kind of figure like a Dragunov
and a Mello. That's it.
And a Mello, yeah. Outside of those, and Braun technically was already up, so we can't even count him.
He was already signed.
Yeah, that was just unpredictable in terms of head scratching. Like, what the freak, SmackDown? You just signed him because he could have been a challenger for Cody. Dare I say?
Yeah, because he's technically he can technically go back to being a heel.
Yeah, he easily could have been a challenger, but now it's just kind of like, well, all right. You know, Sheamus could have been drafted to SmackDown. I wouldn't have minded seeing him and Cody go at it for the championship. What the freak are we doing, people? That's what I said. I'm like, so
they're not thinking long term unless they finna throw Cody right back into the feud with the Bloodline.
And you don't want to do that right now because you need The Rock for that. Low key. Yeah, man. I know, brother. Yeah,
we're not gonna spend too much more.
They tried. My only final thought is just like they tried, but take the feedback, WWE, because I know y'all got people out here that be listening from Stamford, Connecticut. Take this feedback from us and every other creative content person out there giving their thoughts, and just improve on this thing next year and make it less predictable and truly shake it up, truly give it a real sports feel, and just make us be like, okay, now that is a draft and how you do it.
Yeah. And that is our thoughts on the WWE
Draft. When the club go around here, I'm a cactus. Bang, bang, gang, I don't owe you jack. When I'm in the ring, it's just me and my best friends. OC cutting no slack. Hollywood Miz, you can put me on the A-list. Gresh Unleashed, better put it on your playlist. Me and my fam be ballin' like the Bruce. Fight night, baby, hard hitting like Sheamus. Family first, yes, bloodline business. Winning all the gold, look at how they witness.